Let's do some assertion reason question based on Unit 3 Electrochemistry. First one, assertion: the resistivity for a substance is its resistance when it is 1 meter long and its area of cross section is 1 square meter. We know resistance is equal to rho into L by A. So when L equal to 1 and A equal to 1, resistance equal to resistivity. So that statement is correct statement. The SI unit of resistivity is ohm meter. That statement is also correct, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Option B. Second question. On increasing dilution, the specific conductance keep on increasing. So here the statement increasing is wrong. It actually decreases because we know the number of ions per unit volume decreases. So the statement is wrong statement. On increasing dilution, degree of ionization of weak electrolyte increases and molality of ions also increases. So that statement is correct. So assertion wrong, reason correct. So our option is D. Third question, assertion: galvanized iron does not rust. Yes, that statement is correct because galvanization is protecting iron by using metal zinc and it has more negative E0 value. So it releases electron in preference of iron and corrodes faster than iron. So that statement is correct. Zinc has more negative electrode potential than iron. That statement is also right. So assertion and reason both are correct and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. So option A. Fourth question. Assertion: it is not possible to measure the voltage of isolated half cell. That statement is correct. Reason: oxidation or reduction cannot take place alone. Yes, that is also correct statement. We know redox reaction, oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously. So this reaction cannot happen alone. So assertion and reason both are correct statements and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Next one, assertion: zinc cannot displace copper from copper sulfate solution. So that statement is wrong. Zinc can displace copper from copper sulfate because we know zinc is more reactive due to high negative electrode potential. So that statement is wrong. The reduction potential of copper electrode is higher than that of zinc metal. So that reason is correct. Assertion wrong and reason correct. So our option is option D. Assertion: in Daniell cell, if the concentration of zinc and copper ions are doubled, the EMF of the cell does not change. We know Daniell cell, the cell EMF of the cell is equal to E0 cell minus 0.059 by 2 log concentration of Zn2 plus divided by concentration of Cu2 plus. So if you double the concentration of zinc and copper, it's a ratio, so it will not affect the EMF of the cell. That statement is correct. Then reason: if the concentration of the solution in metal is doubled, the electrode potential is either doubled or halved depending upon the charge of the electrode. That statement is wrong statement. So option is C. Assertion correct, reason false. Seventh question. Assertion: sodium metal cannot be extracted by the electrolysis of aqueous NaCl. Aqueous NaCl means in solution we have H plus ions and we have Na plus ions. So H plus ions, its potential is 0 volt, and sodium we know it has negative potential, so its value is less than that of hydrogen. So hydrogen is liberated at cathode. So that statement is correct, cannot be extracted. That statement is correct. Reduction potential of sodium is less than that of hydrogen ion. Both the statements are correct and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Then eighth question, assertion: electrolysis reaction takes place spontaneously. A spontaneous reaction is a reaction which takes place without the help of any external agency, but we know electrolysis takes place with the help of electricity, so it is not a spontaneous reaction. During electrolysis, electrical energy is converted to chemical energy. Assertion wrong and reason correct. So option is D. Assertion wrong and reason correct. Then, ninth question. Electroplating of metal is an example of electrolysis. That's correct statement. In electrolytic cell, oxidation takes place at anode, which is positive electrode. Both the statements are correct, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. So option is B. 10th question, assertion. The extra potential needed to speed up slow reaction is known as overpotential or overvoltage. That statement is correct because we could see during the electrolysis of aqueous NaCl, chlorine is liberated before oxygen. It is due to overpotential of oxygen. Overvoltage is often large when a gas is formed at electrode and small when metal is deposited at a electrode. So both the statements are correct. Assertion and reason, both the statements are correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. 11th question, assertion. The cell potential of mercury is 1.35 volt, which is constant. That's correct statement because no ions are involved in the overall equation, so its potential remains constant. In mercury cell, the electrolyte is a paste of KOH and zinc oxide. That statement is also correct, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. So option B. 12th question, assertion. According to Coltrash's law, the molar conductivity of strong electrolyte at infinite dilution, which is known as the limiting molar conductivity, is the sum of the conductivity of its ions. That's correct statement. Limiting molar conductivity is equal for all electrolyte. That's wrong statement. So assertion correct and reason wrong. So option C. 13th question. Assertion. Zinc gives hydrogen gas with H2SO4 and HCl but not with HNO3. We know zinc can displace hydrogen from sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid but not with the HNO3. That's a correct statement. Reason, nitrate ion is reduced in preference to hydronium ion. Yes, we know the nitrate is getting reduced to one of the oxides of nitrogen. HNO3 is reduced to one of the oxides of nitrogen. So that's correct statement. So assertion and reason both are correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. So option A. 14th question, assertion. E cell should have a positive value for the cell to function. That's correct statement. For a cell to function, delta G should be negative. We know the formula delta G is equal to minus NF E cell. So if E cell is positive, only delta G will be negative. So that statement is correct. E cathode is less than E anode. That statement is wrong. So assertion correct and reason is wrong. So option C. 15th question. Mercury cell does not give a steady potential. That's a wrong statement. Potential of mercury cell is constant because no ions are involved in the overall equation. Reason. In the cell reaction, ions are not involved in solution. That's correct statement. So assertion wrong and reason correct. So option D. 16th question. Assertion copper is less reactive than hydrogen. Yes, that statement is correct because copper has positive E0 value. So it is less reactive than hydrogen. Then ECU2 plus slash Cu is negative. That's wrong statement. So assertion correct and reason wrong. Option C. 17th question, assertion. Copper sulfate cannot be stored in zinc vessel. That's a correct statement because zinc is more reactive than copper due to its high negative E0 value. Zinc is less reactive than copper. That statement is wrong. So assertion correct and reason wrong. So option C. 18th question. EAg plus Ag increases with the increase in concentration of Ag plus ions. So that statement is correct statement, and EAg plus Ag has positive value. That statement is also correct we can write the equation EAG plus slash AG is equal to E naught AG plus slash AG minus 0.059 by n log 1 by concentration of Ag plus. So if I make the sign positive, I can write 0.059 by n log concentration of Ag plus. So the sum of these two, so EAG plus AG increases. So assertion statement is correct statement, but reason also correct, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. So our option is B. 19th question assertion. Current stops when E cell is equal to 0. That's when equilibrium is attained. That statement is correct. And reason, equilibrium of the cell reaction is attained. So assertion and reason both are correct statements, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. 20th question assertion. For measuring resistance of ionic solution, an AC source is used. So assertion is correct, but if we use DC, the problem is that composition will change. Then concentration of ionic solution will change if DC is used. So both the statements are correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. 21st question. Conductivity of all electrolyte decreases on dilution. That statement is correct because number of ions per unit volume decreases. On dilution, the number of ions per unit volume decreases. So assertion and reason both are correct statements, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. 22nd question assertion. Molar conductivity for weak electrolyte shows a sharp increase when the electrolytic solution is diluted. So assertion is correct statement. Reason, for weak electrolyte, the degree of dissociation increases with the dilution of solution. So both assertion and reason are correct statements, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. So option A. 23rd question assertion. Electrolysis of NaCl solution gives chlorine at anode instead of oxygen. That we know due to overpotential of oxygen. So reason, formation of oxygen at anode requires overvoltage. So assertion and reason both the statements are correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion. And 24th question assertion. The standard electrode potential of zinc is negative. It's correct statement because zinc is more reactive than hydrogen. Then hydrogen ions can oxidize zinc. Both the statements are correct, and reason is the correct explanation of assertion.